Most of us move through life believing we have the ability to immediately understand what's happening to us. A relationship ends, so we label it a loss. A job comes through, so we call it a blessing. Something unexpected knocks us off our path, and we stamp it as a setback. We love our labels. They give us the illusion of control, a fragile belief that if we name something quickly enough, we can soften its impact. But there's a story that keeps echoing across centuries, whispering a lesson we rarely want to hear. A man living in a quiet village had one horse, his only real source of work, travel, and income. One morning, he woke to find the gate open and the horse gone. The neighbors rushed over with wide eyes and sympathy dripping from their voices. "That's terrible," they said, shaking their heads as if the outcome was certain. And the man, instead of joining them in panic or sadness, simply said, "Maybe." They thought he was in denial. They thought he just didn't understand the gravity of the situation. But the man knew something we often forget. The story wasn't finished. A week later, the horse returned, bringing with it a group of wild horses from the hills. Suddenly, the old man had more horses than anyone else in the village. The neighbors ran back, breathless with excitement. "You're so lucky," they said, their voices full of envy and admiration. And once again, he replied, "Maybe." They didn't understand him. How could he not celebrate? How could he not see the obvious fortune in front of him? But the man wasn't keeping score. He wasn't tallying points in the game of good and bad. He was living with a kind of spacious awareness, one that reminded him that life moves like the weather, shifting, surprising, unpredictable. A few days passed, and his only son attempted to train one of the wild horses. The animal bucked, panicked, and threw him violently to the ground. His leg shattered. He would not walk for months, maybe longer. The neighbors returned again, slower this time, with pity softening their voices. "How awful," they murmured. And once more the man simply said, "Maybe." You can imagine their frustration. To them things were obvious. A runaway horse was bad. A herd of horses was good. A broken leg was bad again. Why was the old man refusing to accept the truth everyone else agreed on? But the man understood something they didn't. Our judgment of the moment almost never survives the test of time. Not long after, soldiers arrived in the village. A war had begun. They took every healthy young man to the front lines. Most of them would never return home. But the old man's son, with his injured leg, was left behind. The neighbors didn't know what to call it anymore. Lucky? Unlucky? A blessing? A tragedy? Every time they thought they understood the story, life revealed another layer. The old man's maybe wasn't confusion. It was wisdom. It was a reminder that life is always in motion, always evolving, always revealing new meaning with time. And the moment we try to trap it with a label, we close ourselves off from possibilities we haven't lived long enough to see. The Nova effect takes this story and magnifies it. The idea that what feels like good luck can lead us somewhere painful or complicated. And what feels like bad luck can become a doorway into something meaningful. That a single event, a job offer, a rejection, a conversation, a coincidence can ripple in ways we couldn't predict if we tried. Think about your own life. Think about the things that felt like the end of the world when they happened. The breakup that felt like a collapse. The opportunity you were convinced you ruined. The plan that fell apart. Back then, it all felt final, heavy, unchangeable. But looking back now, can you see how those moments pushed you into something better? Maybe they made you stronger. Maybe they taught you boundaries. Maybe they forced you to grow up or slow down or pay attention to parts of your life that had been neglected. Maybe they led you to people you never would have met otherwise. Life rarely hands us blessings with clean edges. It rarely delivers pain without hidden purpose. Yet we're constantly trying to force clarity onto situations that are still unfolding. We judge our experiences too early, like trying to guess the meaning of a book after reading only the first chapter. We want immediate answers, instant peace, instant understanding. But meaning doesn't work like that. It takes time. It takes patience. It takes allowing life to breathe. The Nova effect also points to something else, something uncomfortable, that even the things we desperately want, the things we call good luck, can unravel in ways we never expected. You get the job you dreamed of, and months later, you're drowning in stress. You fall in love with someone who feels like home, only to discover your values are slowly drifting apart. You get the opportunity you prayed for, and it turns out to come with a weight that changes you in ways you didn't anticipate. Good luck isn't always good in the long run. Bad luck isn't always bad. We just don't have the long-term perspective to see the full picture while we're still inside it. There's a strange freedom in realizing this. When we stop trying to control the narrative, we give ourselves room to breathe. We stop clinging to what something is supposed to be, and instead, we begin to watch our lives with curiosity instead of judgment. We allow ourselves to be surprised. We learn to trust the unfolding instead of forcing a definition onto every moment. Maybe the thing you think is ruining your life is actually redirecting it. Maybe the loss that hollowed you out is making space for someone or something extraordinary. Maybe the delay you hate is protecting you from something you can't see yet. Maybe the closed door is a mercy. Maybe the wrong timing is the right timing in disguise. Maybe life is weaving something bigger for you than you would have dared to weave for yourself. The village story isn't about passivity. It's not about pretending everything is fine or ignoring your feelings. It's about loosening your grip on certainty. It's about acknowledging that life is far too complicated, too interwoven, too mysterious for us to classify it in real time. It's about living with the awareness that meaning takes shape slowly, like a photograph developing in the dark. And maybe, just maybe, the very thing you're resisting right now is folding itself into a chapter that will make sense in ways you can't imagine yet. You don't need to rush to label your story. You don't need to panic every time something shifts. You don't need to decide today what this moment means in the long arc of your life. You're allowed to say, maybe. You're allowed to let things unfold. You're allowed to watch your life with patience instead of fear. You're allowed to trust that the picture isn't complete yet, because the truth is, none of us really know what anything means until we've lived through the chapters that come afterward. The story is still moving. You are still moving. And somewhere in the middle of all this uncertainty, life is shaping you, building you, preparing you for things you can't yet see. So the next time something happens, anything at all, try to hold off on deciding whether it's good or bad. Take a breath. Step back. Let life reveal itself at its own pace. Maybe someday you'll look back and realize this moment, this tangled, confusing, unexpected moment, was the beginning of something important. And when that day comes, you'll understand exactly why the old man always smiled and said, maybe. If you found value in this video, can I invite you to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't? Thanks for watching.